So hello everyone, and today we are going to begin data structure. So since this is our first lecture, we will just introduce what we are going to learn in data structures. So basically we will have a little glimpse what data structure is all about and what all things we are going to explore. At the end, I'll also show you a simple program I will run, and I will show what possible causes can be there and how it's going to impact us in terms of storing data, arranging data. So first let us discuss why we actually need data structure and what a data structure is actually. So basically if I talk about data, that's just collection of information. As we know, data is just collection of information. Now this information, whatever we have, that may be arranged or it may be unarranged, right? You may have even a sorted form of data, which we call it as arranged data, or we may have some unsorted data, and we want to create a mechanism by which we can sort it or we can organize the data. So what a data structure is, basically it is a kind of scheme, you can say, for organizing data. Now if we are organizing data, definitely we should have some means by which we can store the data, we can collect the data. So where do we store it? Obviously in the memory of the computer. Now let us discuss some of the types of data structures that we are going to see one by one in all the lectures. So here I have listed some of the most commonly used data structures: lists, arrays, stacks, queues, heaps, trees, and graphs. Now I would like to categorize these lists which I have included here into two broader categories, because based upon our understanding and the flow we are going to talk about them one by one. So first we are going to see arrays, and then we are going to see linked list. Yeah, we have mentioned here the list, so I'll mention it as linked list, not any other kind of list, because first we will be seeing data structures, how it can be applied in C, and then later on when we will move to the object oriented form of programming language, then we will see where these or how these data structures could be used in C++, which is a kind of modern version of C, we can say. Okay, so first we're going to see arrays, and then we are going to discuss linked lists, and then stacks and queues together. So I have categorized it as three, and then we are going to see the trees. We are going to discuss the basic programs as well as the advanced programs that will also be taken care of, like the AVL, all other stuffs. And finally we are going to have knowledge on the graphs. Now these heaps and other forms, that will remain optional, so I will make a separate video for this apart from this course. Okay, so if I talk about data structure, we have already seen that we can arrange, we can organize the data and create a mechanism by which it could be efficiently accessed from memory. Now we do not only need to create a way by which I can store the data, but also how easily I can access the data. So storing and accessing, that will be a key factor. Okay, because this is a key factor, reason being the data that is organized, it definitely affects the performance of a program. Let us suppose I have five numbers arranged in a computer. Let's say 5, 4, 1, 3, 2. Let's say I want to create a way by which I can access the smallest data. So first my pointer is at the left and it will check the number 5, and then it will keep on comparing. If the data is unarranged, then this will be quite difficult. The performance here will be low. So obviously here we need to create a mechanism by which we can sort these data and then arrange it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that if I want to get the minimum number, that can be accessed in O1 time. So here definitely the performance is increased. Earlier the performance was of On if the data was unarranged, and now the performance is O1. Okay, so this was the basic stuff about data structures and what we are going to learn in the course here. Moving to the next one, the types of data structure. Of course, we have talked about some of the data structures, but these can be broadly classified into two types. One, linear data structure, and the another, non-linear data structure. So let's say I have five numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now how can I store them? I can store them linearly, that means one after the other. And if I store it one after the other, then if my pointer is at this very leftmost element, then if I want to go to the rightmost element, then of course I will need to traverse all these elements and reach the end. So here my performance is on. But if I talk about some sort of non-linear data, like I'll take the simple example of tree. So if it is not understandable now, that's not a point to worry, because we all are going to go through one by one. Okay, so here let's say I want to get the maximum number. So here my pointer is at 1, and I will check a way by which I can move to the next element, which is just bigger than 1. So if I compare 2 and 3, then 2 is quite bigger, just bigger than 1 rather than 3, and then my pointer is here, and then the next bigger term is 4. So here I can say that the maximum obtained by just bigger than next element, that is 4. So here this is my set of algorithm, because I want to create a way by which I can access maximum number right after the first number. Like this we can have a number of algorithms which we have to perform. So basically, if we see the storing of these five elements here, these are stored not in the form of linear structure. This is a non-linear arrangement. Linearity means you can access from head to tail right in a flow from one element to the other element. That means the elements stored here in linear data structure, they will be adjacent. And here it's not necessary they will be adjacent. It may be a mix of adjacent storing as well as upgrade or downgrade storing. So all these terms we are going to be sure of in our successive lectures, but we can keep in mind that data structures are broadly of two types. One is linear data structure, and arrays, linked list, stacks, queues, all these fall into this category. Non-linear data structure, basically we are going to analyze trees and graphs. Also the hashing and the heaps, we are going to analyze it later on. So once you are aware about the types of data structure, let us have a little introduction. What is a stack? Because yes, we are going to analyze linked list, arrays, stacks and queues more in detail. So if I take the example, let us say that you have a box. Let's say this is a box which is closed at one end, and you keep on storing some elements here. Let's say you keep on storing books. So this is book 1, this is book 2, and this is book 3. So this is one example. Or let us say you have a number of books and you keep piling it on the surface of table. So this is book 1, this is book 2, and this is book 3. In the same manner, if I talk about computer memory, in the computer memory you can keep storing the information or the data one by one. So here we have introduced this book 3 at the last, and if I want to, or let's say I consider this one, I have introduced book 3 at the last, but if I want to access the books kept in this container A, then I will have a way by which I can access only book 3 which I kept at the end. So this means the book which was introduced last, that is the first one to be extracted. So this is an example of stack. Here also we can see I have kept this book 3 at the end, but if I want to easily take out the books one by one, so I'll be obviously taking book 3. Although this example is a good example for the stack, because here we can create a way by which we can say that I will lift off these two books and I can take it. But that's not the way how the computers store information or the data in the memory. So what is stack? That is definitely a linear data structure, just now we saw. And it works on LIFO principle. What is LIFO principle? That is last in, first out. So here we saw the book that was introduced at last, that's the first one to be out of this collection. That is stack. So here we are going to use stack to arrange or extract the data, in fact to introduce or extract the data in the computer memory. So here we can see that if I take this container, the element present at last, that is the top element referred in the stack. So whenever we are operating on stacks, we always keep an eye on the top element. And of course, the size of stack is also kept into consideration so that there is no memory overflow. So where could stack be useful? One by one, when we will be describing the programs, when we will be analyzing different kinds of programs, then it would be very clear that where the stack is useful. But as of now, if you all guys have already gone through stacks, then you can definitely relate that these may be introduced or useful in recursive functions. Function calling, it may be used for calculating mathematical expressions. So that may involve postfix and prefix, postfix and prefix evaluation, or even we have infix evaluation. But if this is your first class, or if this is the first time that you are going through the data structure, do not mind going through this postfix, prefix, or these bigger terms. Just remember the basics, that stack is a linear data structure, and how we are going to analyze the elements kept in the stack. We need to keep track of the top element, we need to keep the track of size of the stack, so that we can definitely check every time we are introducing an element in the stack that there is no memory overflow. So similar to the stacks, where we saw the basics of stacks, here we have queue. So on the contrary of stack, which was based on the LIFO principle, queue is based on the FIFO principle or the FIFO order. So I'll take the example of ticket counter. So here what happens, different or all people, they stand in queue. Let us say this is person A, this is person B, and this is person C. So definitely person A has arrived first, that's why he's at the right, he's right at the first position in the queue. So let's say ticket counter is here, and the person who has arrived first, he will take the ticket and he will walk out first. That means first in, first out. The person who is first to come into this queue is the first one to be out of the queue. So in queue, what all things we keep track of? Definitely we keep track of the rear, or you can say the end of the queue, because we need to analyze the element which is removed from the front of the queue. So here two things are important in queue. One, the rear element, and the front of the queue, including the size, that of course matters, because again we need to keep track of the memory overflow. Okay, moving on to the linked list. This is again a linear collection of data that we just saw, and in this kind of arrangement, in this kind of collection, each element is stored in a node. And what a node actually contains, it contains the data and the address part. Now the main objective of storing elements in linked list is that you can store the data anywhere. Let's say this is a computer memory. I store a node here, I store another node here, I store another node here, based on what space or where the space is available. Now this node A can keep track of node B, because we know this contains data part and the address part. So in the address part, it's going to store the address of node B, and B can store the address of node C. And let us say C doesn't keeps any address, so it keeps null, it stores null in its address part. Now if I want to reach element C and I have the information of this front of this linked list, then definitely I must traverse, and I can reach this node B by accessing the address of this node A. So this is just a simple mechanism through which I have tried to make you understand that how a linked list is stored in computer memory. So for example, if I talk about the arrays, now let us say we have 10 elements in arrays, then definitely we need 10 continuous memory available, or 10 blocks of continuous memory available, which is not so the requisite factor in this linked list. Okay, so definitely this linked list, if we want to implement the dynamic storage of information, we will definitely choose linked list linear data structure. And moving on to the trees. So guys, trees and graphs we will not discuss here because these are going to be a quite complicated topic. So first what we will do, we will understand each and every program in this arrays, stacks, queues, and most of all the linked list. So I hope this was all clear to you, and guys, watch all other recordings if you haven't watched. Okay.